In this film, I will show how to start up in Codesys. I have chosen to use version 3.5, Service Pack 16, Patch 7, but the setup is the same in all of Codesys versions 3.5. I will start up with a new project. So I start a new project. And when I start a new project, I get the question where to save it, the name for it, and also what kind of project I want to create. I recommend starting with the standard project because then we have everything that we need to start with. So a standard project, it's already chosen here. And I will give it a name and choose where to store it. Start example. Okay. Now the next question is which my target system is. Which kind of device will I be running my code on? As a standard, we have Codesys simulation environments, and I have also installed the Codesys system to my computer. But I will only run this example on my own computer in a simulated environment, which means that I can use this one, the ControlWin v3. I also get the question which kind of language I want to use. In this first example, I will start out with a function block diagram, but we can see that we have other languages to choose from as well. So choose those two and press OK. Now we can see the devices tree over here. Sometimes it gets hidden, but then we can bring it up from here. If I press POUs here, we can see that I am missing most of the tree here, so I want to be in the devices tree. In the devices tree, I have my application. I have the library manager. You can open that, double click. In the library manager, I can add libraries. For example, the util library is very useful. So I will click Add Library and open up Application on the plus sign here. And in Common, I can find the util library. I can import libraries to my system and open them up in the same manner. But I would like to have the util library installed in this project. Okay. Sometimes when we get to this view, you can see that there is a wavy line under one or more of the libraries. And I can mark it up and I will have a button here saying download missing libraries. But in this case, everything is okay. Here in the tree, I also have an FBD program, an empty FBD program. And I can see that I have one task, my main task. All programs that I want to run has to be here in main task. Now I only have one program and it's already in main task, so that is okay. I open my empty program by double clicking and here it is. As all programs, I have the variable list here, the header of the program. Here I have it in table view and here I can change it to text view. Here. In the text view, I can also see the name of the program. It has to be the same as here. And here, in between, I want to have my variable list. These variables will be my local variables. Down here, I want to build my code. This code is in function block diagram form, which means it's built by function blocks. If I click in this box here, I have function blocks up here that I can use. And I also have in the toolbox here function blocks that I can use. I can start out with a Boolean operator, for example, an OR block. I simply drag and drop where I see that it's green. Now I have an OR block, but now I realize that, okay, I should have had 3 inputs to this OR block. Then I can choose to just replace it by dragging in a new box on replace here. Or I just let it go, and I can use my right mouse button, click it, and then I have the opportunity to append input. Then I'm simply adding an input to this block. So now I have an OR block with 3 inputs. This block needs input signals, and they are connected here to the question marks. I click the first one and put in the name of a signal that I want to use. Signal 1, for example. Hit enter. Now my signal is not in any variable list, neither a local or a global variable list. And Codesys is asking me, do you want to declare this variable? Yes, I do. A signal into an OR block needs to be a Boolean. Codesys knows that, so it advises me to declare my signal 1 as a bool. I'm fine with that, so I simply hit OK. Now we can see that my signal 1 is in my local variable list, both in text format and in the table format. Now I want to add another signal. I can add it here in my table view by clicking Insert. If I click Insert now, when this signal is marked, I will get a new signal above it. If I want to have it below, I just unmark my signal and press Insert. When I have my new variable, Codesys automatically says that the data type will be the same as the previous signal, and I call this signal Signal2. If I don't want to have the data type bool, I can double click in this box and I can type the new type here. Or I can choose with the arrow here and choose the input assistant, and here I have a range of data types to choose from. But I wanted to have a Boolean. I want to have my signal 2 as an input here. I press the question marks. Now I can write signal 2 just as I wrote signal 1 before, or I can press the 3 dots here, and here I have my signals. I can double click on signal 2, and there it is. I want to add a signal 3 as well. Now I will add that in the text view of the local variable list. Replace a marker here and hit enter. And write the name of my signal, colon, and the data type. Bool again. Don't forget the semicolon. Now I can use my signal 3 here, press the 3 dots, and I have it here. Now I have an OR block, which means that the signal out here will be true if any of those 3 are true. To put a variable here, I need to have the question marks. So I can click on the right mouse button, and here we see I have the possibility to insert different kinds of boxes, but also assignment. The insert assignment I have here as well, and up here. Now, the signal that I want to have here, I want to be a global variable. Then I need a global variable list. I can insert a global variable list by right-clicking on Application, and then I choose Add Object, Global Variable List. And here I can give my global variable list a name. Since I will only have one, it could be called GVL, why not? So add. Here I see the text view of the global variable list. If I have many global variable lists, it's a good idea to keep this first line, which means that I always have to use the name of the list and then a dot before the name. But since I only have one list, I don't want to have this row, so I just remove it, delete. And here I can enter my global variables. I want to have my signal out. It will come from the OR block, so it should be a Boolean. And we can see this list also as a table here. And now we see that this is a global variable. I go back to my program, and now I can use my signal out by simply writing the letters, or I press the 3 dots. My signal out is not here, it's here in Application, GVL, and here it is. Double click, and there it is. This is a very simple program, but we can try it out anyway. Since I don't have a PLC system connected to my computer at this time, since I am using this simulation tool, I need to go to simulation mode. I do that in the menu, online, simulation. Now I see that I have red field down here saying simulation, and also here online. Now I see that this is checked. Now I want to log in to my target system, that is the simulator in this case. I do that by pressing login, this small wheel here, or online login. The first time I start a simulation, I always get this warning: you don't have a simulation created on your computer. Do you want to create it? Yes. Now we can see that all my signals are initiated as false. I didn't give them a starting value, so when I start up, they are false. I haven't started yet, it's stopped here. So for anything to happen, I have to start my simulation. I do that with the play button here. Now it's started, nothing happens, of course. False, false, false. We will give a false signal out. So I want to change one of my signals. I can do that by double clicking it here. Now I see that I have a prepared value here of true, and I also have true here within the brackets. To actually run this value, I need to write it to the system. Then I go to debug, write values. Or we can see the short Control F7. Now the value is written, and we can see that the out variable is true. I can also see that in the global variable list here. Now it's true. If I want to make changes to my program, I can log out. Here I have log out, and I can make changes to my program. For example, I would like to have signal 2 starting at the true value. If I don't remember how to do that, I can go to the table view, and here I have the column for it. So I write true here. Remember that everything I write here is case insensitive, which means that I could have written true with lowercase letters if I had wanted to. What will happen when I log in now? I'll test that. Press login. And now the first question that I get is if I want to just make the changes without restarting the system, or if I want to log in with download, which means that I will download the entire code and restart the system. I'll try login with online change. It's not always a good idea to restart a PLC system. And I hit OK. I said that signal 2 would start as true, but it's false. And signal 1 should start as false, but it's true. That's because I haven't restarted the system. It just continues where it were the last time I was looking into it. So the code has been running the entire time when I have been logged out from the system, and it's still running. So if I want to restart, I should have chosen the login with download, but I can also restart from here. If I go to online and reset warm or cold. Okay, you sure? Yes, I am. Now, the entire code is starting from the beginning, and now I have the starting value true on my signal 2. Out is still false. That's because the system is stopped. Press play, now it's true. If I want to continue programming, I can use logout. And now I can add a new block, either from the list here, or I can just put in an empty box. Here, this box is still undefined, but I can put in the type of box here, on those question marks, the black ones. And here I want to have an AND block. You can see that I have chosen a block that can be used because the symbol is here. And now I want to say that, okay, the out signal will not change unless the start signal is true. Start is not something that I have declared before, so I get this auto declare. I can either declare it as a local variable or a global variable. Press here, and here I can choose a global variable. Okay, now start is declared in my global variable list. Here, as a boolean. If I want to see my program and my global variable list at the same time, I can drag this tab here, or there, where I want to have it. Now I have both the list and the program visible at the same time. Log in again. I get the same question. As soon as I have made changes to my program, I get this question. If I have made very big changes, I might want to log in with download. Still, we can log in with online change. Everything is on because I have not pressed stop, so it's running, and the signal 2 is true, just as we left it. And out is not true because start is false. Now I want to see what happens if start is false. I can do that either by double clicking here or click once here. Now I have true as a prepared value for start, and I can prepare other values as well in the meantime. True for signal 3 and signal 1, for example, debug, write values, or control F7. Now everything is true. If I make all the signals here false, start is still true, control F7. Now we see that out is false, even though start is true, but all my signals are false. I log out to continue. Now I will make a very common mistake. I will put in a new box here, an OR box again, where I assign my out signal again. I have advised against that in the previous film, but I will do it anyway just to show it. Then I want to have a variable here. I can click on it and choose variable from here. And I reuse the name out. And then I will have a stop signal. It's a global variable. You can see that it's here. I want out to be true if stop is true or signal 1 is true. I'm going to start again, log in with the download this time, which means that I will start from the beginning and the system is stopped. You see signal 2 is true as I said it would be from the beginning. Okay. Now I press start, then out should be true, right? Start, prepared value true, debug, write values. Oh, out is false. That is because I have tried to write to out both here and here. And this line of code will overwrite the value of out. So we can see that this block gives a true signal out, but the signal out is not true. It's false, since we have overwritten the code here. So I can prepare signal 1 as true, control F7, then out is true. Both those networks will say that out is true, and it is. If I say that start is false, prepared value false, control F7, out is true because this network says that out is true, even though this network would have wanted out to be false. So word of advice, do not use the same variable as the output signal in two different networks, unless you're using it for something in between here. In the coming films, I will show more about Codesys and how to use it, but now hopefully you know where to start.